To talk to you now. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the Brereton report will be released into alleged war crimes by our Special Forces soldiers in Afghanistan. Now, at a time, Catherine, when the rate of veteran suicide continues to climb, this is going to be released. The Prime Minister has already said on the release of the report the nation will face, quote, brutal truths. So before a jury is impanelled or had a chance to consider its verdict, the report is, quote unquote, truth. How damaging is this to our vets?
Well, this entire slow drip process has been damaging, Alan. There have been people tried by media. There have been selective leaking and drops of information. The absolute white-hot fury, and I get a lot of contact from veterans, especially after I appear with you. Many reach out. But the reaction to the fact that the author of that report that had been commissioned by the Army, Dr. Samantha Kromverts, that she was wheeled out on 60 Minutes in a sanitised or in some authorised fashion as a sort of information prelude to this whole process, has sent many veterans absolutely into outrage. And I just draw your attention, as I know you would have, to the unnamed operators who wrote an open piece that was published in the Australian as well as the 9 newspapers, where they've basically said, put up or shut up, name the names, and also call the High Command to account, which is what we've been saying all along. So tomorrow is D-Day, and what I'm led to believe will happen is that this redacted report will still not yield specific names. I believe there are 10 special operators who have been identified for further investigation and with some likelihood of prosecution. But as you have said, the entire climate in which this process has been conducted will make it virtually impossible to impanel a jury that doesn't have a view on this.
Absolutely.
The only solace I draw is that if you read the comments on all the news sites, the average, the quiet Australians are not quiet about this. They're angry, they think it's dragged on too long, and it's not passing the smell test with them.
No,
now, as I've said to you, there have been some breaches of laws of armed conflict.
Yeah.
That seems to be on dispute. But what has gone on is tarring the entire SAS regiment. Most of the special forces have been tarred, and what the guys understand, what the blokes get, is that the 10 people tomorrow, there will not be a commissioned officer in that cohort.
No, well,
let me just make that point.
Let me make that point. So if, as you say, they're going to establish quote-unquote war crimes yet to be proven, I repeat
Correct.
what I've said many times, and I'm writing about this in tomorrow's Sydney Daily Telegraph. If we are a signatory, Catherine, to the Geneva Convention, which has adopted the Yamashita standard that asserts that, I quote, the highest ranking officer is accountable for and should be prosecuted and convicted of the crimes of every officer and soldier under his command. Catherine, where does this place government leaders and every boffin who's dishing out judgment from air-conditioned offices in Canberra?
Yeah, precisely. And look, as I said last week, Alan, there is plenty of blame to go round. One courageous general had the integrity to bell the cat on this, and Ben Packham's got some information in the Australian tomorrow about conduct of weapons sales out of the armoury at Swanbourne and some other things that caused him consternation. The officers around that time went onwards and upwards and were given embellishments such as the Order of Australia, and yet again the axe falls on the soldiers. So as you point out, if the chain of command is not scrutinised, there is going to be a mutinous attitude right across the Special Forces and Veterans community. They're seething right now. 1 or 2 of them have access to parliamentary privilege, and they are watching very closely tomorrow, I can assure you. Because
sorry.
Go ahead, Alan.
No, you finish.
The very fact is that there are theatre level commanders, there are people who have certified Special Operation Command operationally ready for these multiple deployments. Their misemployment on kill and capture missions where normally they do a more stealthy long-range reconnaissance role. They were used as a blunt instrument over repeated tours. The people who signed off on that and authorised it, Joel Fitzgibbon was a Minister for Defence. He's made it clear he thinks the blame goes right to the top.
Absolutely.
There are senior officers who are saying the same thing to me. Some of them have spoken to Ben Packham as well. And I can assure you there's another matter that's been overlooked. There's a military officer on trial for breaching the Official Secrets Act, while selective drops have been going on through the ABC and Nine for years, but an officer has been charged and is facing a jail sentence. That man is a friend of mine, and I suspect if he is well advised legally, he will subpoena senior officers from the chain of command.
Fantastic.
And ask under oath what they knew and when they knew it, if those answers are not forthcoming tomorrow.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'll just make one final point. As you and I both agree, the most important task of a government of any nation is to secure the defence of that nation. How you secure the defence of the nation by undermining the morale of those who sacrifice and serve, I have no idea. And if people in government think they're going to get away with this sort of stuff, I can assure you we'll keep repeating the Geneva Convention to which we are a signatory. Brilliant work, Catherine. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be talking about to one of those vets on the program tomorrow night.